Hey VC, how's it going? Hope you're having a good weekend. This, looking at this video actually kind of reminds me of my older videos, like when I first started, before I moved to my first apartment. But now I'm in my second apartment, and now I'm back on the floor, because I don't have a chair in here. So, won't be doing needle drops in this one, but it'll still be a good video. At least I hope so anyway. Got a nice little stack here of finds from this past month or so. Lots of really good deals in here. The majority of these were $1, but these first few, were just normal price finds from various places that I'll talk about as I go. So this first one is actually one of my more recent ones, but I'll do kind of a grails up front type thing because I've really been looking for stuff by this band or similar bands in general. But this is Big Black. The record's called Atomizer. I'm not sure what record this is for them in terms of being like first, second, third, or anything like that. I honestly don't remember, but it's one of their better ones in my opinion. It's on Homestead Records. This is a true first press US copy. Comes with this insert with lyrics, or that's the inner sleeve rather, and the label looks like this. Homestead Records. Just a really cool album. It's punk, it's noisy, it's like got like borderline industrial elements to it, and yet it's firmly in the rock / punk category that I would put it in anyway. So yeah, one I'm really happy to find. I got this at end of the year in Austin when I was down there just a couple days ago. One of the best record stores I've ever been to, probably either the best or second or third best in the entire state out of all the ones I've been to. And I've been to a lot of them, so always happy to go there. Every time I swing through Austin, I make an effort to go down there. It's always amazing. This is one from Waco. If you don't know, I just moved to Waco. There's one store in town called Spin Connection, and they're pretty cool, honestly. They have space for shows in there. The employees are really nice, and the selection, there's some stuff hidden in there that's really good, such as this. This is Cale, Naturally. The record called Naturally. This isn't or I should say, this is like a later reissue on this label. Forgetting what the label is. S. It's not just Shelter. It has an S, but the label Shelter Records, that's their later version of the label. This is Cale. His name, I always confuse him with John Cale. I mix them up. But JJ is a little more in the countryside, maybe folk or roots related rock, and you can tell by the kind of instrumentation that's on here with piano, organ, fiddle, slide guitar, harmonica, and the typical guitars, bass, drums, and all that. But the songwriting on here is really spectacular for the genre. So yeah, really happy to have this one. Looking for more by him too. Sort of a 60s folk staple. I think this is his first record. It's Phil Ochs. Ochs. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I Ain't Marching Anymore. You can see someone wrote their name across the top. Well, maybe you can't see. It's a little camouflage there on that wall. And also they wrote the year they bought it in. And that's also the year that this pressing is from. So not a first pressing, but it's a gold label electro pressing stereo. I Ain't Marching Anymore itself, the title track, is really fantastic. It's about 2.5 minutes of Dylan-esque protest folk that I think even I would put it up there with most of Dylan's songs, or being better than a lot of his songs that try to do similar things. And the rest of the record I don't know as well. I will be spinning this one really soon to listen to, but I also got this one in Austin. And the last one from Austin is the reason I went down there. I mentioned I was going to see Foxing with Rat Boys in Mississippi. So I got the new record from Foxing, which is probably my favorite record of the year so far, honestly. It's called Nearer My God. The packaging on it's great, you know, the front cover, it's a gatefold double LP. It's Foxing, you know, started as like a emo revival slash indie rock band, and now they're a little firmer into the alternative side, and they have like electronic elements like drum machines and synths. Really cool, probably my favorite record of the year. Here's the first inner sleeve with some credits, and I'll show the vinyl. Both the records are identical in terms of pattern, but it's on this cool, it's almost like a lava lamp. I think it's called Red Haze vinyl, with the red and then the kind of violet colored. In the sunlight, it looks, you can really see the violet really well, but not in the sunlight. It just kind of looks black. But yeah, that looks really awesome there in the lighting. Both records are like that, and it sounds great. Really happy to pick this up. This is a tour exclusive press, limited to 500. Here's the second inner sleeve with lyrics, really tiny lyrics for all the songs on the back of that one. And pop that up real quick, same deal. Yeah, super stoked to have this. Really great show. They put on a great show. And the record, like I said, is probably my favorite of the year, so check it out if you've not heard it. At least give it a try. So, okay, the rest of these are all from Half Price Books, and they were all $1. And with the exception of, I think, the first one, they're all British pressings. So I'll go ahead and start with this. This is Kate and Anna McCarrigal, who the record's called Dance with Bruised Knee. I don't remember which one of these ladies, but one of them had a child with Loudon Wainwright, that child being Rufus, and I think they were married as well. But this is a, you know, pretty standard US pressing on the Warner label. I've not listened to this one yet. It's in pretty decent shape. The record, or the cover is, you know, got some damage, a little water damage on the side, and this corner is starting to become split, but the record is really nice. I think this one's from '77, and their first record was really great, so I'm really anxious to hear this one. And into the British pressings, another one I've not listened to and I don't really know anything about, but I picked up because it's obviously British and it was $1. Is this record by Ralph McTell, Not Till Tomorrow. You can see it's on this kind of shiny material, the cover is. In addition to just being, you know, kind of laminated feeling. But it's on the British Reprise label. And I don't know anything about this, so yeah, if you know anything, you tell me. But it looked interesting, and it was $1. Randy Newman, 12 songs. This one, you always hear about Randy Newman being, you know, this really great songwriter, and it really is true. His early stuff through the 70s, or this one might even be late 60s, you know, in that late 60s through 70s period, his music is really incredible. And if you're a fan of like the Dennis Wilson record Pacific Ocean Blue, and you've never heard this, I think you would really dig this. It's kind of a similar style in terms of instrumentation and even his voice. And it's on this this Reprise label. It's not a, well, I guess you would call it a tri-label, but it's not the US one, it's the UK one. And it's in the pop series, whatever that means. Next British one, Speaking of Wainwright, it's Louder Wainwright III t-shirt. This is one of his later records on Arista Records. 76 it says. So a little more into, I guess, pop appeal for him, or as close as he could get to that. And you know, his sense of humor and his songwriting is always great, so I was really happy to find this. Just kind of plowing through these really quickly. And you can see the condition on most of these is pretty good. This one's not laminated, like I think a lot of British pressings are, but the cover is that kind of flimsy card stock, really common on British records. Another one I kind of know nothing about. I don't even remember what it's called, who it's by. Adrian Mitchell and Leon Russellson. It's called A Laugh, a Song, a Hand Grenade. Really cool cover there. So I believe this is folk as well. UK folk revival from the 60s. It's on Transatlantic Records. So it's got this interesting label I'd never really seen before. And again, I know next to nothing about it. It's from '68 apparently. So really cool to find though. One that I was actually really impressed with is this one by the New Deal String Band on Argo Records. So this is I believe it's a stereo copy of this. Yeah, it's on this purple Argo label, stereophonic. There's a great version of I'll Fly Away on here. It's all traditional stuff, arranged by the band, but it's really great folk trio with, let's see, they got obviously singing, but then guitar, banjo, and auto harp, plus fiddle sometimes. So, really cool record. Again, with the folk revival stuff. You may recognize this one. This is Bert Jansch. From he would later be in the Pentangle, which is a really fantastic folk band. Again, with the Transatlantic label. This one's a little different though. And this one is probably one of the better ones out of the whole group that I had not heard before. Actually, probably my favorite out of the ones I had not heard before. I think there's a Lightning Hopkins cover on here. Strolling Down the Highway, I believe it is. So, really, you can see he's a great guitarist. He's finger picking. He's a little bluesy. He's folk influence. His songwriting is great. He's a singer-songwriter, obviously, but his skill as a guitarist is really what kind of shines through on here. So yeah, really fantastic record there by Bert. I believe this is a first pressing. Could be wrong. Three more. These are a little more familiar. So we got this one by the Incredible String Band. I believe it's just self-titled, and it's their first record. It's on Elektra. This is a first pressing. It's on this white Elektra label with the green E. I'd never seen this before in the States. The vinyl is actually pretty heavy. And the string band, they later go on to do like some pretty trippy stuff, like acid folk and I don't even know what you would call it, a little more psychedelic. This is pretty straightforward, honestly, in my opinion. Kind of pastoral, very, very British sounding folk, almost like quintessentially British. So yeah, there's a couple traditionals on here as well, but it's mostly originals. Really cool listen. And I just talked about the Burrito Brothers in my contest entry for the Broad Strokes contest, and I just picked up their second one, Burrito Deluxe. I love that cover with the rhinestones on the burrito. I think it's hilarious. There's the band there on the back. So This is, again, a British pressing. It's on A&M. In terms of comparing it to the first one, it's honestly kind of more of the same. If you like the first one, you'll like the second one. And vice versa as well. If you don't like the first one, you probably won't like this one either. But it's, you know, country rock. With Graham Parsons and the guys, probably my favorite one on here. I forgot they did a cover of Wild Horses by the Stones. Really interesting. I really like Farther Along, the last track on the first side. Probably my favorite on here. I was trying to remember what it was called, but yeah, really happy to have this. I've been wanting any version of this for a while now, and a British one is as good as any, especially for $1. And the last one here was kind of unbelievable to see. It's In a Silent Way by Miles Davis. You can see the ring wear is a little bit more visible on the cover because it's the kind of British styled laminated one. And it's on the UK CBS label, kind of orangish. So I think this is a very first pressing, either first or second, but it's definitely from, you know, 69. Super clean vinyl. And I've talked about this before. This is in my, or was it in my top 100? I don't remember. I think Bitches Brew is in my top 100, but this one is just as good, honestly. It's a little more subtle than Bitches Brew, to say the least. But yeah, I've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure it's kind of soft. So you really need clean vinyl if you're gonna get it on LP. You really need a nice clean copy because it's very quiet. There's moments that are like almost at a whisper. And if I remember right, there's something about the mix on this, or with every copy of this. I think, at least with the first track, which is called Peaceful, I believe it's they recorded, you know, the song that's like, it's like half the length, and then the producers just kind of copied and pasted the song, so it kind of just plays twice almost. Does that make sense? They cut the song, copied and pasted, so it just kind of is the song again, you know. But you can honestly hardly tell. If I had not read that somewhere, I wouldn't have even noticed. Honestly, it's kind of that subtle. So it really works. And I don't know if they do the same thing with the second track as well, but yeah. John McLaughlin's on here with guitar, electric guitar. Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, and Wayne Shorter on sax. So yeah, really great lineup. And there's others as well, but I honestly don't recognize the rest of them. There's the personnel there. Super happy to have this. This is one of the best things I've found all year. So yeah, that's it for my finds. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.